Fans, this is Jamie Pollard, your Director of Athletics. I really appreciate you taking a few moments to watch this video. I wanted to personally reach out to all of you and explain more about our decision to go in a different direction with our men's basketball program. Last night, I personally met with Coach Prohm and shared the news with him that we were going to make a change with our men's basketball head coach position. Personnel decisions are always tough, and they should be. You're impacting the coach, his family, our assistant coaches and their families, our players and their families, and our recruits. I've always said the day personnel decisions aren't hard to do is the day I no longer need to be in a leadership position, because it would mean I've lost empathy and I've lost doing things with class and dignity. This one, though, was especially difficult. Coach Prohm is a great human being. He is about as classy of a basketball coach and a person that I've ever been around. He's got a beautiful family. And I'm just sorry. I'm sorry that it's come to this. I know he worked his whole career to get to a spot, to get a job like Iowa State University. And it breaks my heart to be part of taking that away from him and from his staff. But I think it's also important to share with you why. It's critical that our men's basketball program be healthy. It's so important to this community, to this institution, to our president, to our athletics department. And I have a responsibility to make sure it stays healthy. Coach Prohm and I spent the last several weeks meeting regularly to talk about where the program was, how it got there, and what needed to be done in order to get it back to where we all want it. It became clear during those meetings that there's no short-term fix. It's not going to happen overnight. It might take several years. It also became clear that we needed to start over. I challenged Coach Prohm to share with me what the plan would be to get our program better. And he believed, and I agree, that that plan probably meant making some changes with staff and also making some changes with some of our players. Essentially, rebooting and starting over. And that raised the question, if we're going to start over, is it better to start over with a fresh leadership or start over with somebody going into their 7th year? And quite frankly, one of the questions I was asking myself is, what would Coach Prohm have to do next year? How many games would he have to win for that excitement and energy to come back, for that momentum to come back? And in the end, it just felt like the right decision was to start over with a fresh leadership. Coach Prohm is a great coach, a great human being. We have a saying in our department, once a cyclone, always a cyclone. I hope that our fan base can focus on the positives, not the negatives. Under Coach Prohm's leadership, we won 2 Big 12 tournament championships. We went to the NCAA tournament 3 times, and we went to a Sweet 16. We had several NBA players. There were a lot of positives. And I hope over time, when we think about Coach Prohm as once a cyclone, always a cyclone, that we remember the positives and not the negatives. Coach Prohm will land on his feet. Coach Prohm will be a successful coach going forward. And he'll have a huge fan in Jamie Pollard. Now we turn our attention, though, to the search. I've always said the most important part of my job as athletics director are coaching searches. And I say that because our student athletes are the most important part of our athletics department. And our coaches, especially our head coaches, are the ones that work the closest with those young men and young women. And so I feel a huge sense of responsibility as the leader of this department to make sure we have the right coaches. Number two, I'm often asked, in your time as athletics director, what have you learned the most in the last 16 years? And the most important thing I've learned is it's critical that you hire the right people. We see it all the time in our industry. People try to win the press conference. I can assure you, winning the press conference is not going to be our goal. What our goal is going to be to find the best person to be our head coach. And for Iowa State, the best person doesn't mean just because somebody can win at another program that they can win at Iowa State. We got to get the right person to be the head coach at Iowa State. I anticipate the search will go pretty quickly. Why? With the landscape that we're in now in college athletics, with transfers being able to leave and be eligible right away at other schools, with the recruits that we've signed, we have a responsibility to those young men to be able to share with them sooner than later who their head coach is going to be. But I want to assure you, we will not sacrifice quality of the search just to expedite the search. Now, we all have to understand, we've got unlimited resources. This past year with COVID has really set our athletics department back. Making a change in any coach, especially the football and basketball coaches, is a significant financial hit to our department. So it's going to be critical. Whomever we hire understands that we're going to have to be very creative financially in order to make all of this work. I also want to address something that I've heard out there, that there were a donor or donors that stepped up and said, we'll pay the buyout. That did not happen. And I don't want that ever to happen at Iowa State. I think that sends a horrible message about how the program is led and managed. And so that did not happen. In closing, I want to leave you with two final thoughts. Number one, I want all of you to know we will not sacrifice our integrity for winning. Whomever we hire has got to understand at Iowa State, you do the right thing the first time. Coach Campbell, Coach Fenley, Coach Prohm, all of our coaches do it the right way. That's who we are, and that's who we're going to continue to be. So I want you to know that we will not sacrifice integrity for winning. And number two, I know all of you are so excited and loyal and into what happens. And there'll be a lot of people talking about water coolers, about what's going on with the search. What I want you to know is this. If you don't hear it personally from me or officially from our athletics department, then it's probably not true. If you have this need to play in that space, do it for entertainment or do it for humor, but don't do it for fact. I look forward to the next time I get to address you, because it most likely will be when we introduce who our new head coach will be. Thank you for all your loyal support. Know that we're going to do everything possible to get this program right. Go Cyclones.